This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. The lead stories are Traitors Among Us, Facebook Whistleblower, Apple tries to stop payment linking, and the new Twitter removal tool is here. I want to welcome you to episode 1560 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, October 11th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Support this show today with your cash, with your support at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Of course, I want to welcome all new listeners to the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Thanks for being here for the very first time. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. Check out all the great content that my writers are creating over there. Definitely get subscribed to the podcast while you're on the website. Really, any place that podcasts are found, you'll be able to get access to the show. So we want you to get hooked up on that. Of course, you can subscribe to our newsletter as well. The newsletter is available directly on the website. And a little bit farther down on the right-hand page, just get subscribed to that. That'll allow you to get any announcements that I make and or, which are rare, and, of course, immediately access to the show notes that are delivered directly to you immediately upon the publishing of this podcast. That's really the key there. Of course, we want you to get involved. And if you want to join our chat room, you can do so at geeknews.chat or our Discord server as well. And we're streaming today just about everywhere it's possible to stream except for Twitch because I didn't get the key reset, but that's okay. Hey, so the way to really get connected to the show is email me, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. And of course, you can reach me at Geek News. A bunch of people are texting me saying, where's the show? Where's the show? At Geek News is the Twitter address. So definitely, follow me on Twitter. Of course, you can follow me on Facebook as well. All the partner shows are linked at geeknewscentral.com. And of course, that includes the new media show, the Pro Gear site, which we put a lot of great content up there, which isn't a podcast. It's another blog. The Gadget Professor, Mr. Don Bain. Of course, the GNC Week in Review done by Kirk, and I want to thank Kirk for getting out an episode last week while I was out. He was unable to do the Thursday show. Kirk's suffering a little back pain right now, so he wasn't comfortable doing it, so I hope Kirk feels better. And I know he's headed off to see the doctor to see if he can get some relief. But definitely check all the partner shows as well. Now, tonight is a big night because I've been telling you folks for a while that the best deal with GoDaddy was the promo code deal that I had for you where you could earn or where you could sign up for hosting for basically $1 a month. Well, the deal is still fantastic, but the deal has changed. As of October 1, the GoDaddy promo codes that I have on my webpage are really at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. The ante's been upped a little bit. So instead of $1 a month, it's now $2.99 a month for economy hosting first year with a free domain, or $2.99 a month for managed WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain. But you get a little better package. So that's the advantage. You get a little better package than the $1 a month. You go into $2.99 for those hosting packages. The website's been updated so that you can go over and check out the two new offers. Of course, the $4.99.com on newer transfer domains is still there. The 30% off new product purchases is still there. The free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal, business, Business Plus plans are still there. But we had that dollar deal for a long time. So now it's $2.99. $2.99 a month for economy hosting for the first year of the free domain. $2.99 a month for managed WordPress hosting for the first year with free domain. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still an absolutely incredible deal. It really is. Now, instead of costing you $12 a month, $12 for the first year, it's now $36 for the first year. $35.99 or something like that is what it rings up. So you still can get on board. It's still very inexpensive to get online, starting a new blog, starting a podcast, starting something that could be an e-commerce site, you name it. It's really available for you today. We want you to take advantage of it. It's, again, the offer promo codes are the same. The offer has now changed. When you click on the offer, it's now going to come up as $2.99 a month. So just be aware of that. Kind of sneaked it in as a surprise to me on October 1. So there you go. GoDaddy's been supporting this show a long time, and I definitely appreciate it. Now, more importantly, tonight is really the official night that I celebrate 17 years in podcasting. Now, it happened over the weekend. October 9th was the official day, but today it's 17 years. 17 years podcasting. That's a while. And you've all been along for the ride. Now, we haven't obviously done 100 episodes every year, or we'd be close to 1,700, but we're at 1,560. So, sue me, but that's where we're at. But, here's the thing. Imagine that. 17 years ago, when I was hanging out in Waco, Texas, after I'd been injured in June 2nd, I believe, was the day, or June 1st, June 2nd was the day I got injured. I think it was on my dad's birthday, 2 days before my personal birthday. Got hurt in Bahrain and ended up in the hospital for 13 days with an L1 burst compression fracture that really changed my life and disqualified me from flying anymore, and ultimately getting better to the point where I could go on the road. And being in Waco this time of year in 2004, it was 115 degrees in the shade for some reason, and spent a lot of time in the hotel room. And a few days before this in October, I had heard about podcasting, and so the journey began. All those years ago, 17 years ago. Some of you have been with me from the beginning, and I want to thank you for being part of the family and being here from the early days. I recently got a number of emails from folks talking about their fans for life and some really great words of encouragement. And, we've had some trials and tribulations over the years. We know that on episode 200, I lost my father. We've had a number of things come up. You guys have seen me go from being active duty military to retiring to, to several transitions. And here we are. Well, last week was one of those weeks where things could have really went sideways in a big sort of way. So about 3, 4, 5 months ago, something like that, I was made aware of a spot on my back. Matter of fact, right here on above the shoulder blade that typically I could see in the mirror a little bit, but really could never get a true eyeball on it, and was recommended that I get that looked at. And the next time I was in Honolulu, I saw my general practitioner and made the request to have that looked at. They agreed, and I waited many months for a dermatologist appointment. So here's the crux. I get into the dermatologist, get my shirt off. The gal's taking pictures. She's not saying too much. She's measuring it. And sit in the room, and the doc walks in, and first thing he said is, "Wow, that's big." Now, it was only a centimeter, 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, but it wasn't round. It was, I guess best thing is it wasn't round, and it had changing texture. And he immediately started talking about melanoma cancer and how melanoma cancer kills. It's the most second deadly cancer out there. And pancreatic cancer is number 1. Melanoma is number 2, killing about 159,000 people every year in the United States. And he really, from the very get-go, did not give me a warm and fuzzy that this spot was going to be anything other than cancer. And he was very upfront. Said if this thing is cancer, we're going to have you in immediately. We're going to take the skin down to the muscle, and he really left me thinking. He biopsied the whole thing and sent it off to the lab. But so that was the 5th. I guess that's what day was the 5th. The 5th was what, Tuesday? October 5th was Tuesday. And, of course, I was scheduled to come back from Honolulu Thursday night. There's a story in that and what happened on my way home. So, long story short, I start doing some Googling and, figuring out that there's a stage 1 through 4 melanoma cancer. And he did tell me maybe this thing will come back, non-cancerous and, So Saturday, no word on Wednesday, no word on Thursday, no word on Friday. Saturday about 2:30 Eastern time, which would be about 8:30 Hawaiian time. Phone rang, and it was the dermatologist, and he basically said, got good news. It's pre-melanoma, but there's 3 categories of pre-melanoma, and I was at the severe range. So it would not have been too much longer before we would be having a different discussion tonight. And that said, I still have to go back. Matter of fact, I got my appointment today. It's in the middle of November that I have to go back. And they're going to do what they would have done if it had been cancer, and they're going to take that area down to the muscle. And they just have no choice. That's the way it's got to go, because there could still be some of those precancer cells in there. They don't want to take a chance, and that's what we're going to do. So, yeah, it could have been really, really bad. I could be here today telling you that it's stage 1, 2, 3, 4. But the only hope I really had in this whole situation is I've had this spot for years. Now, doesn't make any excuses for it. And I'm here to tell you right now, and I want everyone to listen that listens to the show. We've shared a lot over the years. Is I want to make sure that each and every one of you take the time and do a scan of your body, and have a friend or a partner or somewhere else look in the nooks and crannies that you can't see yourself, and look to see if there's any weird spots. You got a mole that's changed, a mole that's grown. You've got a birthmark that's changed color, whatever it may be, and get a handle on that and figure out what's going on with your skin. And when in doubt, talk to your general practitioner and get to see a dermatologist. Now, at the same time, I want all of you to really, really listen. Now, this doc was fantastic, and he spent some time talking to me about the benefits of vitamin D3. There's no clinical results yet. It's coming. But he said if you take vitamin D3, at least 2,000 IUs every day. Now, I know some of you are already on 5,000. Some of you are on 10,000. I can only tell you what my doctor told me. He told me be on 2,000 IUs every day. Your chances of getting melanoma skin cancer drop dramatically. And in a significant, like a huge, 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 huge percentage. So it's cheap. I went to Walmart and got myself 500 capsules of D3 for $8 or something like that. So all of you that are not on D3, there's other good reasons to be on D3 anyway. And I was always taking vitamins sporadically and, supplements. But this one specifically, I'm definitely going to be on D3 for the rest of my life. I have no doubt. And so the plan is, for me, is I will get this surgery done, minor surgery, where they're going to take a big hole in my back and get all that stuff out of there that is there. And then come January, they want me to come back and do a full body scan. And basically, I think you stand in a booth and they just take pictures of your entire body while you're standing there naked, I think, to figure out where the rest of, to track everything that's going on with your skin. So that's kind of the plan here for me. I'm very blessed. I feel very strongly about having dodged a major bullet here. Again, having had the spot for a long time, my only real hope was that if it was going to kill me, it would have already killed me because it had been there for years. But I'm just telling all of you, doesn't matter what age you are. You don't have to be young. You don't have to be old. You can get melanoma at almost any age. So pay attention to what's going on your skin and look at those spots that you've had for years. And when in doubt at all, don't be a doctor. Go see your doctor and say, what about this one? And for the fellas out there that don't wear hats, have thinning hair like me, watch your head, watch your arms. If you're not haven't used, I knew, I'm very fair. So, it's not like I haven't used sunscreen for years because I have. And I know not to be in the sun. As a matter of fact, I was always joke when I was in Hawaii, I would always be underneath an umbrella. But there was always that reflected light from the ocean. It's not like you can totally escape it. So anyway, it's everyone wants to text me during the show. And over here, these Macs are dinging because I got the volume turned up on one of them like a dummy. But anyway, the end result here is I don't have a death sentence. And please, please, please don't become a number. And you all listen to the show for the years. I'm giving you the fair warning here and not to scare you, but I'm trying to scare you. Go have something looked at that doesn't look right. Or if it looks normal and you still don't know, still ask. I had a couple other things I asked about. You get these little red raspberries. You say, oh, those are just normal skin things. We can laser those off for if you want. It's purely cosmetic. Well, when I say purely cosmetic, that means insurance doesn't cover it, and I'd have to pay for that. So I don't care about them, so I'm not going to get them lasered off. So anyway, that's what's going on. But I will talk about Hawaii just a little bit. There was a newspaper report today that said Hawaii's had more deaths from flu and pneumonia since the beginning of Corona or COVID. They've had more deaths from flu and pneumonia, non-COVID related, since the beginning of the pandemic. So that means they've done a good job in Hawaii to an extent of controlling COVID. But at the same time, they've scared the living hell out of people there. I feel they're a little well, it's crazy how crazy they are in some aspects of this thing. They don't want tourists there right now. They don't want. They would rather the economy dry up and everyone go broke than have tourists. They don't want tourists there. You are given an absolute evil, stink, dirty eye by almost everyone if you're outside in the open where the air is blowing and you're nowhere near someone and not wearing a mask. Don't mind wearing a mask inside. That's no problem. Don't have an issue with that. But you can't go anywhere. You can't go into a store. You can't go into a restaurant. You can't go into any public place without someone standing there saying, "Can I see your vaccine card, please?" And taking your temperature. I'm like, we've been way past that here in the mainland United States. It's remarkable, and I mean really remarkable, to the point of like, you've got to be kidding me. It's just, and the governor had said already, the tourists stay home. So my daughter's going there for Thanksgiving, and I've already warned her, with two little ones, what's going to be required of them. 2-year-olds plus have to wear a mask everywhere, outside, at the beach, inside, doesn't matter. You have to wear a mask everywhere. And supposedly you don't have to wear it outside, but everyone does, and they give you stink eye when you do. And they definitely are not friendly. Every time I showed my vaccine card and my Michigan driver's license, I got a dirty look. It's almost like you're bringing the plague here. It was. I'm just astonished how much damage they have done to their economy, and to tourism in general of that state. They're going to have a very, 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 very long road to recovery. And I was getting ready to fly back, and I was checked into United, and I had a 2 club passes that I can use every year that I get part of my credit card I have with them. And I went to the lounge, and I showed the lady of course, I had to show my vaccine card and my ID. And I said, "Whew, thank God, this is the last time I have to show this for a while." She goes, "Well, to fly, soon we're going to require vaccines to fly. That's the best thing ever." And I'm just like, do you really realize what you're saying? If you want people to show a vaccine card to fly, how devastating, more devastating. Well, airline pilots are quitting already because they have to have a vaccine. Look at Spirit, what's going on with them right now. Not Spirit, Southwest, excuse me. With all those pilots saying, "Screw it, we're just not going to fly," and thousands and thousands and thousands of flights canceled, and basically Southwest pilots protesting the requirement. Well, it tells you something when professionals say, "No, I don't want to." Same thing with hospitals. Over 200 nursing and doctor staff in a hospital here in Michigan just quit because they had required to have a vaccine. So if doctors and nurses are not, now again, I'm vaccinated. I have a vaccine card. So it makes you go, doesn't a little bit. But we'll see what happens. But take that attitude and move it to Hawaii and multiply it by 25. Yet. So, anyway, I've talked enough on this. We'll get into the show. Sorry, I've dug in here a little negative deep tonight, but I have absolutely, besides going to see my doctor, going back and seeing family, I have absolutely no desire to be in Hawaii at this time. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay. On a happier note, we got a stack. We got a stack of stuff. Good stuff. Juicy stuff. Traitors among us. U.S. nuke subplans leaked on SD card. Hidden peanut butter sandwich, claims the FBI. Docs were smuggled past security and sold for $110,000 of basically crypto using proton mail between 2 individuals. One was a nuclear, and this is what's disgusting, a retired Navy nuclear engineer. So I don't know if this guy was an officer or enlisted before. But anyway, he served as a nuclear engineer, contracted a foreign power, and offered to sell restricted data concerning the design of a nuclear-powered warship. The foreign power shared the communication with an FBI legal attaché. So that's interesting that the foreign power wouldn't have been the Chinese, I don't think, because the Chinese would have. I want to know which country this is. With an FBI legal attaché, which found itself looking at a letter sent by this guy in April 2020. The letter included some U.S. Navy documents and instructions on how to establish a secure channel between a foreign nation and this individual. He said, please forward this letter to your military intelligence agency. I believe this information will be of great value to your nation. The letter stated, hopefully adding, this is not a hoax. It kind of reads like it would be. But anyway, it goes on. This has been all over the news, too. Anyway, he delivered a bunch of data via an SD card, even dead dropped some stuff. So $110,000 when it made it back to these two individuals, because the wife was acting as a lookout, a teacher at a school. And lots been talked about already about her political postings on Facebook and Twitter. And it's an interesting development. I hope they both get electrocuted or shot, but I know that we don't do that anymore. They'll find themselves in a deep, dark hole someplace. They'll never see each other again, and rightly so. And this individual will be a security risk from here on. He'll have hardly any communications ever. But there's no room in this world for traitors. And just looking to cash in. Fairly disgusting. According to the school, the woman has been suspended indefinitely. I don't know if that means fired. But individuals like this, I hope there's a special place in hell for them, to be honest with you. So, anyway, 2 terrorists caught. And thank you to whoever the host nation was for sharing that information with us. We definitely appreciated locking these 2 individuals up. Facebook, wow. What a week for me to be out when all this stuff went down with the whistleblower, right? Well, you probably heard about it all. I read about it all. The Facebook whistleblower will brief the oversight board, yes, the Facebook oversight board, on the cross-check rules for VIPs. She says Facebook has lied to the oversight board repeatedly. In light of the serious claims made about Facebook, Ms. Hagen, we have extended an invitation for her to speak to the board over the coming weeks, which she accepted. Oversight board wrote in a statement. Board members appreciate the chance to discuss Ms. Hagen's experience and gather information that can help push for greater transparency and accountability for Facebook through our case decisions and recommendations. She recommended the upcoming meeting. And the Oversight Board has also been pushing Facebook to provide more information about the program in light of her disclosures. Cross-check, of course, is the internal designation used by social network for high-profile accounts, including celebrities, politicians, and athletes. And basically, those folks can post whatever they want and have been able to for a number of years. And there's more allegations to light. And if you don't think for a second that they're not pushing their narrative, wake up. I don't care what political side you're on. Facebook has a political mission, and it's for them to shape that and shape the conversation that you get every time. There's a great movie out. What's it called? The Social Experience or Social Conscience or Social something. I forget. Someone's going to help me in the chat room, I hope. Social Experiment or whatever it is. This is what this is all about. Controlling how you think and shaping your ideas. The BBC's reporting that Facebook whistleblower is going to appear before the UK Parliament. She's going to appear before the Online Safety Bill Committee on October 25th. It is examining law to impose obligations on social media companies to protect users, especially children. And she alleges that Facebook harms children's mental health and stokes division in society. Well, they harm everyone's mental health and stokes division in all of society. So we'll see where this goes. There needs to be greater transparency in the decision companies like Facebook take when they trade off user safety for user engagement, he said. And this was from Damian Collins, who chairs the committee reviewing the draft legislation. Of course, Mr. Collins also accused Zuckerberg and former UK Deputy Prime Minister turned Facebook communications chief Nick Clegg of wanting to stop any insights in how the company manages harmful content unless they have personally approved them. So, of course, Facebook has firmly pushed back against the allegations, said she's mischaracterized stolen documents. Of course, I had to throw that word in there. So they're in a PR nightmare, and rightly they should be. Apple, even though they said they had a home run with their win against Epic, Apple's trying to block Epic's court win before it takes effect on December 9th. Apple is seeking a stay of order that its iOS apps link to other payment options. Their appealing court ruling say the company must let iOS app developers direct customer to payment options other than Apple's in-app purchasing system, although Apple previously called the ruling a resounding victory because its App Store business model was generally upheld. The company is seeking a stay that would prevent implementation of the injunction requiring Apple to lose its app rules. So I'm hoping this is not going to happen because the judge issued a permanent injunction that said Apple must stop prohibiting developers from including in their apps and their metadata buttons external links or other calls to action to direct customers to purchasing mechanisms other or in addition to the app purchasing and communicating with customers through points of contact obtained voluntarily from customers through account registration within the app. If Apple isn't successful in blocking the injunction, the iPhone maker will have to comply with it because December 9th. That would make it easy for third-party app developers to collect revenue while giving Apple commissions up to 30%. More power to the people. So we'll see where this goes. We'll see if this injunction holds or not. Well, Twitter has a new tool. I've blocked a few people over the years, and it's just resounded in nothing but people doing more hate on me. So this new tool for removing unwanted followers arrives. All Twitter users can now remove a follower without having to block them. The company started testing this option last month, and starting today, everyone will have access to it. To quietly stop one from seeing your tweets in their feed, go to the Followers tab on your profile, click the three-dot menu next to the user in question, and select Remove this Follower option. This is part of Twitter's efforts to reduce harassment on a platform. Blocking someone you don't want to follow could lead to retaliation from that person via their allies or secondary accounts after they find out. Cutting them in this fashion and muting them will mean they're none the wiser that they're out of the loop. Now, this method won't prevent someone you boot from your followers list from seeing your public tweets. Only blocking them or making your account private will do that. So elsewhere, Twitter's testing a safety mode, which automatically blocks accounts that use potential harmful language as well. It's also looking into more ways to filter and limit replies. So it seems the company is making progress on its anti-harassment efforts. So good on them. Hey, as a reminder, if you want to start a podcast, all you have to do is go to my website at geeknesscentral.com. You're going to find the link to Blueberry Podcasting in the sidebar. Click on that. That takes you over to Blueberry Podcasting. Gets you 30 days free of podcast hosting. We'll onboard you right there very, very quickly. 3 minutes, you'll be in our system and ready to start publishing your own podcast. So definitely consider that when you're getting ready to start your podcast. We want you to host with Blueberry Podcasting. That's where I want you to be. Definitely check the link out at geeknewscentral.com. As some of you may have heard at the beginning of this show, we're starting something today or in with some previous episodes where you may have heard a pre-roll at the beginning of the podcast. I forgot to mention this earlier. It's part of a new experiment we're doing to monetize, testing a new monetization platform. I'd love to hear talked about on the last couple episodes ago. I want to hear from you on how that's worked out. The FTC warns against scams for help with broadband subsidy program. It's free to apply for the emergency broadband benefit program. Don't fall for online ads offering sign-up help for free, the FTC says. The notice issued on Friday warns that ads are government impersonators that look and sound like the legitimate government site, complete with government seals designed to trick people into handing over personal information or paying a fee. The EBB is a pandemic relief program set up by Congress at the end of 2020 to help low-income people and others affected by COVID. To afford broadband, offers a $50 a month subsidy for broadband, $75 in tribal areas. Also provides a one-time subsidy to buy a laptop or desktop computer or tablet. The program, which is administered by the FCC, has helped more than 6 million Americans fund their internet access since May 12th. Only apply through the FCC and its listed providers. So anyone can apply. You'd have to provide some financial information at getemergencybroadband.org. That's only placed. If another company says it can sign you up for the program, check first to see if they're an approved provider. Don't pay up front to get free connected devices. The EBB program is free for those who qualify. Don't give financial or other personal information to someone who calls, texts, or emails and says they're with the FCC. If you think you've been scammed, the FTC says to act quickly. It offers advice on its website on how to try to get your money back. So these scams have been circulating for a while. You sign up through the FTC. Moving on, French startup Swill has raised $200 million Series D funding round led by SoftBank International Group. With this funding round, the startup has now reached unicorn status, meaning the Swill has a valuation of $1 billion or more. For those of you that are in France or maybe in the European Union, maybe you're familiar with this, but Swill is basically a card that has credits on it for your health benefits. I've had this guy on my news ban for a while, largely because he blocked me on Twitter when I dare question something he had said. And who I'm talking about is Star Trek's Will Shatner on his plans to boldly go into space. He's going to be part of the four-person crew. But I know some of you are Star Trek fans. I know some of you love Shatner. Shatner is 90 years old. He's joined by Vice President of Mission and Flight Operations Audrey Powers, former NASA engineer Chris Boljuzin, and healthcare entrepreneur Glenn DeVries. Of course, he is the actor who played Captain James T. Kirk in the original Star Trek TV series and a number of films. So, anyway, he looks pretty good for 90 years old, to be honest with you. Still got all of his hair. That's more than I can say, to be honest with you. But anyway, good luck to the crew and have a good time. Astronaut Sally Ride will be one of the women featured on a 2022 U.S. quarter. And, of course, Sally Ride was the first American woman to travel space. Will be featured on the first 5 coins of the U.S. Mint's American Women's Quarters program. Beginning next year and continuing through 2025, the Mint will issue 5 quarters each year with tail-side designs featuring trailblazing American women. Ride, who died in 2012 at the age of 61, flew aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger in 1983 and again in 1984. She was slated to go on a third shuttle mission, but after the Challenger blew up in 1986, NASA suspended the shuttle program, and Ride retired a year later. So this will be awesome. She'll be on a quarter. Do you guys collect these commemorative coins that the Mint publishes? Here's the deal on those. The best way is to tell your bank that you want to roll of these particular quarters. Now, it doesn't mean they're uncirculated, but usually they're pretty fresh. And usually you can get them where they're uncirculated. Don't open them. Leave them in their wrapper. Spend $20 and get the rolls and then stash them away. In 100 years, your descendants will be able to cash those in and make some money. Okay. So just tell your bank, and they're very good about it. And you want a list. And you usually, if you have a good bank, they'll help you get them. Of course, you can always run them. They'll always run. Kirk says, sorry, I didn't put it in the rundown. I forgot about your ban on William Shatner. Well, it's okay. He's going up in Blue Origin, Kirk. And Kirk, I have, thanks to my mom, I've got all the U.S. states. $20. I have 50. Thanks to my mom, of all the states. I've got all 50 states. A whole roll of each. So anyway, just ask your bank. SiriusXM is partnered with Audio Up, develop new original podcast. Well, the two companies have entered into a creative program and strategic agreement under which Audio Up is expected to create a new podcast for SiriusXM and its platforms. Audio Up, which was established in 2020 as a podcast content production studio, has created a slate of original scripted audio entertainment featuring marquee names across music, Hollywood, and publishers, including Machine Gun Kelly, Garrett Hudlin, and Stephen King. Of course, the agreement gives SiriusXM exclusive first look option for new Audio Up original podcasts. So here's the thing about all these original Audio Ups. They're only going to be available on those platforms. My advice to all of you is, if a podcast is not available via Apple Podcasts, via Google Podcasts, via your favorite podcast app, isn't exclusive, is it a podcast anymore? It's just another audio show, right? If you can't subscribe to it, it's not a podcast anymore. It's just another audio program, which is fine. But I want you guys, you're all listeners, you've been here for the beginning of podcasting. Podcasts are open, they're free, they're available to be subscribed to and listened to, and you contribute if you want to. And, don't be forced to go over to Spotify, or don't be forced to go over to Amazon, or don't be forced to go over to SiriusXM. They're doing everything they can to try to consolidate and not make podcasting as open. We want to keep the medium open, and the only thing you can do to support that is not support those programs. Pretty bold, huh? Say that on this show, but it's the truth. The first Arab mission to Mars is delivering some interesting science. And, of course, since arriving at Mars 8 months ago, the Emirates Mars mission has been quietly begun to deliver some intriguing scientific data about the Martian atmosphere and its weather patterns. Named Hope, the probe is in a relative high orbit, varying in altitude above Mars from 20 to 43,000 kilometers. 20,000 to 43,000 kilometers. And this vantage point allows the spacecraft to see an entire hemisphere at a time. For much of this year, then, the Hope has been training its multi-band imager, infrared spectrometer, and ultraviolet spectrometer on Mars to collect data about the planet's atmosphere and resulting weather conditions. So it's quite an interesting article, full-length one from Ars Technica. The link will be up in the show notes. You can review at your leisure. The Pixel 6 has been leaked. 5 years of security update with a $749 and $1,049 price tag. And it's basically leaking everywhere. Over the weekend, UK retailer Carphone Warehouse posted an official-looking teaser, which has since been taken down for Pixel 6. The site was full of info, most notably claiming that Pixel 6 will come with 5 years of updates. So someone jumped the gun here. Probably got in big trouble by Google. But if you're a Pixel fan, you got all the details. All the details will be in the show notes at geeknewscentral.com. Also, this is 15 years of Google Docs. And, I'm a heavy Google Docs user. Heavy. And, 15 years ago, if you're writing a docs, chances are you're doing Microsoft Word or that's where you did it, right? But on October 11, 2006, Google officially launched Google Docs. It was pretty not user-friendly in the early days, but I got Docs. I actually looked. I got Docs that go all the way back to like late 2006 in Google Docs. So we work exclusively. You can save it to Word doc and save it as a PDF. You can upload a doc and it goes into Google Docs. Use a spreadsheet. It's not as powerful as, but if you're just doing basic spreadsheet work, plus and minus and some division and, normal formulas, then not too bad. But where's this going to go? Where is Google Docs going to progress to? Time will tell. But they've got a great write-up about Google Docs. And, of course, the Google I/O 2021 talked about some improvements coming to it. So if you're a Google Docs fan, Google Drive fan, the link will be in the show notes. Apple's released iOS and iPad OS 15.0.2 with fixes for CarPlay, photos, and more. Apple's still testing iOS and iPad 15.1, which will include some new features. But photos saved to your library from messages could be deleted after removing the associated thread of messages. AirTag might not appear these are some things that were fixed. Device restore or update may fail when using Find or iTunes for iPhone 13 or iPad mini 6th generation. And so, here's the thing that I've really been waiting on is my Mac Pro needs a new battery. But it's starting to have this network issue. Every once in a while, it just doesn't want to connect to the network anymore. And it runs home to mama for some reason. And I know I can restore from update. It'll probably fix it. But I think something bigger is going on. And it's got me bugged a little bit. So I may, at some point, replace, because I use the Mac Pro here in the studio, I may soon replace that with a Mac Mini and just use the Mac Pro for travel only because you keep the hours off it. I guess that's the main thing. Get the battery changed out, keep the hours off it so that I can run this notebook a few more years because I don't really want to go out and spend the money for a Mac Pro at this point, where a Mac Mini will do just fine. So I may do that here in the near future here in the studio. Not that you care, but it's just one of those things when you have an aging computer, things start to happen. Google's polling stalkerware ads that promoted phones using spying apps. So these consumer-grade spyware apps are often marketed to parents wishing to monitor their child's calls, messages, apps, photos, and location, often under the guise of protecting against predators. But these apps, which are often designed to be installed surreptitiously and without the device owner's consent, have been repurposed by abusers to spy on the phones of their spouses. Whoa. The rise in so-called stalkerware or spouseware prompted an industry-wide response in recent years to combat the spread of phone monitoring apps. Antivirus makers have worked to better detect stalkerware, and federal authorities are taking action against spyware makers that further expose their victims to security threats. Last August, Google banned ads in users' search results that promoted apps that were designed with the express purpose of tracking or monitoring another person or their activities without their authorization. TechCrunch found 5 app makers that were still advertising their stalkerware apps as recently as last week. So they've got a ways to go on this. So it's good to know that the antivirus folks are on top of this as well. NASA says Boeing Starliner won't launch until 2022. And basically, it's got a valve situation. The valves aren't turning on and off when they're supposed to. Boeing thinks they have a fix, but Starliner will not fly until next year. So that's a big news. Facebook, on the other hand, and we've been working with Facebook quite a bit. My company launches an audio hub in the U.S. for podcasts, live audio, and short-form clips. You'll see on the Geek News Central page when you're on the phone app, there is a podcast section now where you can find my show. So we're going to have lots of other stuff going on there where we'll be talking about in the future where we can share clips of the show and a variety of stuff into the news feed. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this new destination while creators have their shows found. While Facebook users will be able to find audio content from favorite creators, discover new ones, and access content they'd save for later. At launch, the audio section will feature the content from the creators you're already following, like me, and will also include a set of personalized recommendations as well as suggestions of other audio that's popular across Facebook. So if you're not following the Geek News Central page, please, please, please follow the Geek News Central page, like it, and you'll get to experience some of this if you so desire on Facebook. Even though I talk smack about them, we're going to keep using it, but you all been warned that it is, shaping hearts and minds. Google TV is adding multi-user support and an improved ambient mode. Every user will have their own recommendations and watch list. So this is make it easier for those that have Google TVs to have a personalized profile. So if you have more than one person in your house and they're on multiple TVs, each person can have their own profile. I'm not, I hadn't been on Netflix in a while. And my son has been using, I appears to have been using my Netflix profile. It's got all kinds of weird stuff in it now. How do you clear? I think I got to clear my profile on Netflix. I don't think there's any way going back. All the stuff I was watching is now like lost. It's a little annoying. So I told him, stay in your profile. Don't come on my profile anymore. You got your own profile. Chris, stay over there. Jeez. Of course, the big leak with Stitch, and the reason we're not streaming on Stitch today is because they were hacked. But Twitch streamer earnings have been released by this hacker, and the top 1%, total earnings were $889 million. Top 1% made $529. The top 1% of Twitch streamers made over half the money paid out in 2021. The Wall Street Journal analyzed 4.9 million accounts of revenue data made available by user online chat. The biggest earner earned about $4 million. Last year's highest earning account was a group called Dungeons and Dragons. Players made close to $4 million in 2021. Those figures don't include other possible income sources. The earned data goes back to 2019. So they've increased payouts by almost over $100 million a month. So again, the bottom part of the folks made like $30 or something. It wasn't very big. Actually, they didn't make 30. They didn't get to the $100 threshold. Or if they did, they only got 130 or something like that. So anyway, this is a pretty interesting. If you want to see what it takes to become successful on Twitch, you have to be just like YouTube, you got to be pretty high on the totem pole. Ford has announced roving bands of Ford Charge Angels will repair EV charging stations. The first ones will hit the road later this year. With the F-150 Lightning set to debut earlier next year, Ford plans to employ a group of Charge Angels to ensure owners of its EVs can find reliable charging when they need it. Interview with Automotive News, Ford EV lead Darren Palmer said technicians in specially equipped Mustang Mach-E's will travel the U.S. to test out charging stations where connected vehicle data and angry social media posts indicate they may not be working. All they'll do all day long is go and check to see where they fail and why. Well, I guess they probably want to get them working while they got to go, because if they're going to be in a Mustang E, they're going to have to fix them. He says there are a lot of plugs out there, but some of them are old and they don't have the quality reliability one. Over 99.5% of customers go into a charger and get a charge. We're pleased about that, but a number less than that get a charge the first time they charge. The company is reporting finalizing details of the program, but hopes to have the groups of Charge Angels out on the road. So if you like to travel and you have an electrical background, maybe you can become a Charge Angel and driving a Ford Mustang Mach-E. Pretty cool. Sounds like a fun job for a while. Amazon will leave remote work decisions to individual team leaders, a new policy twist, so they're not bringing everyone back in January. They're going to leave it up to the directors of divisions on whether they're going to bring people back or not. So, different move there by Amazon. Michael Dell says the key to winning is being unafraid to take risk. From starting a PC business in his college dorm room to fighting over control of his companies. Dell's new memoir dives into entrepreneurship. I want to, when is this book out? Oh, this is going to be a great book. Is it available yet? Michael Dell, Play Nice But Win, a CEO's journey from founder to leader. Definitely going to order this one. These are the types of books, ladies and gentlemen, that you want to add to your read list. I've read just about every book there is on the founder of Apple, the late Steve Jobs. I've read a lot of books on Bill Gates and others. So definitely going to add this to my read list. So very, very cool. So link will be up in the show notes on the review on his memoir. So also getting ready to shop for Christmas, looking for big screen TV. Well, I got the best 75-inch 4K TVs. And I'm just going to give you an idea. The LG OLED is one of the top ones. 2 LGs, 1 Samsung, 1 Sony. Actually, 2 Samsungs, 2 LG. I'm going to put my bets on the Sony XR75X90J. How much does that bad boy cost? Let me bring it up on Amazon, see how much it is. Holy smoke. Well, not bad. $17.98 for a 75-inch TV, Bravia XR full array LED 4K. I'm guessing. I'm a big Sony fan. Samsung number 2. But the folks at makeusef.com says that the LG OLED, how much is that one? That's a premium pick. What does that bad boy cost? Oh my gosh, $3,000. So that's the editor's choice was a Samsung 75-inch class Neo QLED, and the best value was a Samsung 75-inch class QLED Q68. But I'm going to just be honest. I love the color. Sony has got the best blacks. Oh, it's just a great brand. I love Sony Bravia TVs. Can't speak high enough of them. Tesla's full self-driving beta 10.2 rolls out to more owners. Perfect safety score required. This is a level 2. The Tesla full self-driving is not a fully autonomous system. Ranks as a level 2 driver assist on the SAE scale of autonomy. So you got to have a very high safety record. The new enhancements, though, says according to another Twitter user, says they already tested FSD 10.2 driver monitoring, is significantly strengthened. When they had a phone in their hands, FSD issued a message saying the system was unavailable for the rest of the drive. So it took it away from them. That's nice that they did that. Aside from the monitoring system, the beta includes new visualization and other improvements to create a more seamless system. Musk tweeted earlier this week saying 10.2 was actually delayed after noticing a few last-minute concerns and dished the Sunday or Monday timeframe, and the system date was ready today. So those of you, if anybody's got this, you got one of those Teslas, and you're in this 10.2 full self-drive mode, love to hear your feedback. The Pixel Pass is Google's rumored response to Apple One, combining an extended warranty with a bundle of Google services. So the subscription bundle called Pixel Pass would combine a new Pixel device with extended warranty and premium subscriptions for several Google services. The unconfirmed bundle has been detailed in a leaked image. It's unclear how much Pixel Pass, we already talked about that earlier, but you're going to get some more features. You get YouTube Premium, YouTube Music, Google One, Play Pass, and Google Fi. So anyway, I know Kirk is excited about getting a Pixel 6. Reddit is hiring former Google Cloud exec as its first chief product officer. So Peli Bhatt, the former vice president of product and design at Google Cloud, as the company's first chief product officer. That's a big title he had before, and moving over to Reddit. That's amazing. So we'll see how he does for Reddit. The Chevrolet Volt recall has begun. Cars will get new battery packs. The fix takes about 2 days for a dealership to complete. So their replacements have begun, and we'll see where this goes. But I had a friend that owned a Chevy Volt, one of the early ones. He loved it. Google gives security keys to 10,000 high-risk users, and it's basically a USB fob. The USB key provides two-factor authentication, an additional layer of security beyond a password. Google says it wants to encourage people to join its advanced protection program for high-profile users. It follows the news that the firm sent thousands of warnings to Gmail users who were targeted by hackers. The warnings were issued after Google detected in late September a campaign targeting about 14,000 Gmail users across a wide variety of industries. Shane Huntley, director of Google Threat Analysis Group, said in a statement. Mr. Huntley said the campaign came from the APT28, a Russian-linked hacking group, was a phishing attempt, which is an email campaign designed to look legitimate to trick people into revealing their passwords. As we always do, we sent those people who were targeted by governments-backed attacker warnings, adding that the emails were successfully blocked, but they sent warnings to those users. So they're out there. The hackers are still out there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so this is going to bring me down to the end of the show. And again, if you weren't here from my earlier dialogue, please, if you take any advice from this show, and we've given lots of advice over the years, if you've got a spot on your skin that just doesn't look right, it's changed color, it's grown, it's become irregular, it's not perfectly round anymore, it's time to get your butt to your doctor and get in to see a dermatologist. Because besides pancreatic cancer, which killed so many, we all know someone that's died from pancreatic cancer, because when it's finally detected, it's too late because there's no nerve endings in the pancreas. That's why so many people die, because once they detected it, they're already at stage 4. Melanoma is the second deadliest killer of cancer in the United States, killing over 159,000 people a year. And I came this close, a hair's breadth away from maybe another year and a half, who knows, whatever time this thing would have turned cancerous, and the ending would have been very, very different. So be careful. Keep an eye on things. You have something that doesn't heal, or, that's another warning. You have a spot that won't go away, and get in to see a dermatologist and get taken care of. So anyway, and also it was not related to the issue I had earlier in the year with this itching issue. I've got that under control. We finally figured out kind of what was going on. I'm 99.9999% better in that regard. And but anyway, everyone, thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Thanks for hanging out with me today for the show. I'm glad to be back. Thank Kirk for doing the show last week, getting one out. Apologize that we didn't get the Thursdays out, but he just wasn't feeling good. And health over show any day of the week. I'm glad I was able to bring you guys good news. I think I didn't even realize how concerning this was before I left to have it looked at, to be kind of frank with you. But now I do. But anyway, that's going to be it. We're back with you on Thursday. And then the schedule really is kind of odd. I have to go to Austin. And the week of the 25th. So I'm actually flying down, I think, on the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. I'll be back on the 28th. So maybe I have Kirk step in for me on the 25th. And then we'll see if I'll be back on the 28th. And then again, mid-November, we'll be going for that procedure. But just keep the show cranking here. Keep it going. I want to thank all of you for being part of the family. And we'll see you next time. Everyone take care. And those of you, the insiders, thank you for ongoing support. And we'll see you next time. Everyone take care. Bye-bye.